ENTJ, LIE, PT, logical intuitive extratum, enterpriser, pioneer, or archetype Jack London. Jung, extroverted, intuitive, logical, rational. Renan, dynamic, yielding, democratic, strategic, emotivist, carefree, serious, decisive, positivist, result, declaring. Velenko, communication style, businesslike, romance style victim, forms of thinking, vortical synergetic cognition. Groups. Gamma Quadra, NT researchers, EJ temperament. Extroverted. He focuses on the outer world. He manipulates real objects, feelings, emotions, and sensations, rather than delves into a world of imagination. Logical. He sees the world through the lens of rules and logical connections, makes decisions based on logic often, prefers logical evaluations, right or wrong, and prefers argumentation over persuasion. Intuitive. He is more idealistic and visionary. More concerned with ideas and concepts than with surroundings. Sees the big picture rather than the details. Rational. He evaluates the information and then takes the appropriate action depending on the situation using their experience. Tend to plan, make decisions early. Serious. They poorly recognize common emotional background. They have an objectively known facts, rules and laws, based on general, common, experience. They consider someone else's opinion, after comparing it with the real facts. Decisive. Natural state is readiness. Normally he is mobilized. When the work is done, finds it hard to relax without a ritual. Democratic. He perceives and refers to other people, and himself, primarily describing individual, personal qualities. Frank, trustworthy, generous, unimaginative, light-hearted, good-looking, etc. Yielding. It's easy to change his mind. Resources are personal, but ideas are freely shared and manipulated. Carefree. They believe that one can't foresee everything. Result? He does things randomly, detached from processes, and tends to multitasking. Dynamic. He perceives events in a continuous sequence, continuous changes rather than discrete states. Strategic. He focuses on goals, and manipulates them, with methods unsettled. Positive. First, he notices the positives. He tends to optimize, polish, and improve already existing things, systems, or processes. Socially and intellectually more trusting first. Emotivist. He tends to concentrate foremost on the emotional background of interaction, with business a secondary concern. Declaring. He has tendency to monologue, listens attentively and silently to others' speeches, to return to a long speech. Romance-style victim. He has initial doubts about the extent to which he is interested in someone else and is hesitant to disclose this interest, preferring partners who inspire awe in terms of power, physical presence, and the like. Appreciation for the power dynamics present when interacting with such partners. Communication style, businesslike. They communicate with others about their activities and express their emotions about their jobs and engagements. Their communication style is known as active expectation of feelings. Forms of thinking, vortical synergetic cognition. It is synthetic, positive, and inductive. The science of how order emerges from chaos. Synergetics is distinguished by non-equilibrium, non-linear, and unstable dissipative states. Synergetics think fluidly as dynamics, with tints of one thought cascading into another. Positivists gravitate toward a point of attraction. They frequently turn backwards and jump over previous levels as involutionary types, displacing the flow of their thoughts like a vortex or fluctuating storm. NT researchers. They tend to limit their interactions to the exchange of ideas in their common areas of interest, with little emphasis on the exchange of personal experiences in relationships or physical activities, other than walks with ongoing discussions. Gamma Quadra. Serious, decisive, and democratic, they prioritize the long term over the short term in terms of efficiency and profitability. Similarly, they tend to focus on the broader consequences of decisions rather than just those affecting themselves, giving them a proclivity for self-sacrifice. They take a tougher stance on ethical principles and the punishment, even vengeance, of those who violate them. They place a premium on personal loyalty. EJ temperament. EJ has his own ideas about what reality should be, which causes him to be quick at work, proactive, and restless. Walking is fast-paced and purposeful, as well as harsh, quietly energetic, with few intense differences in energy level throughout the day, and tends to fidget when forced to remain inactive for long periods of time. LIE Model A. TE Program. Ego Mental Valuable Inert Verbal Acceptable Strong 4D. Creative Zone. Ego Mental Valuable Contact Productive Verbal Strong 3D. FE Role. Superego Mental Non-Valuable Weak Contact Acceptable Nonverbal 2D. SI Trouble Zone. Superego Mental Non-Valuable Weak Inert Productive Nonverbal 1D. FI Suggestive. Super ID Vital Valuable Weak Contact Acceptable Verbal 1D. SE Activating. Super ID Vital Valuable Weak Inert Productive Verbal 2D. TI Ignoring. ID Vital Non-Valuable Strong Inert Acceptable Nonverbal 3D. NE Standard Area. ID Vital Non-Valuable Strong Contact Productive Nonverbal 4D. TE Program. He must gather information, including information from outside sources such as books, second-hand information, and so on topics of personal interest or professional activity. It results in a desire to be proactive in improving the efficiency and reasonableness of the external world, as well as a sense of self-worth associated with being involved and productive in activities perceived as useful, profitable, or that increase one's knowledge base. Creative Zone. He enjoys forecasting the future of situations and topics that pique his interest. He uses his highly developed sense of vision to promote the development of his more central interests and activities, not as an end. FE Role. He tries to adjust to the current emotional climate, especially in group situations. Such efforts, however, are typically low-key and short-lived. He is unable to participate in a group setting where there is a high level of emotional expression. A typical example is the person who will occasionally correct others' incorrect statements. SI Trouble Zone. He prioritizes distance and longer-term physical considerations over short distance, here and now. A typical manifestation is a lack of concern for minor aesthetic details, due to the belief that caring for them is a never-ending exercise. FI Suggestive. He longs for close personal relationships, in which personal and private experiences can be easily shared in an atmosphere of mutual trust. He is drawn to people who value clear and unambiguous interpersonal relationships. They adhere to a clear set of ethical principles, which lends credibility and makes them trustworthy. SE Activating. He enjoys participating in competitive and challenging endeavors, and seeing his will and personal power grow as he overcomes obstacles with others. He believes he is capable of achieving his goals, but he is unsure whether the path he is taking is the best one. TI Ignoring. He understands but is largely uninterested in discussions about the internal logic of ideas and systems. Such logical systems are perceived as largely irrelevant to his goals, and he finds them completely uninteresting and unproductive. NE Standard Area. He is good at producing new ideas, but he does not take them seriously. He uses his intuition in areas where he is trying to accomplish something, rather than indulging in thoughts that have nothing to do with those areas of interest. LIE Intertype Relations. Dual ESI. Identical LIE. Activator SEE. Mirror ILI. Semi-dual EII. Kindred LSE. Benefactor IEE. Supervisor SLI. Extinguishment LII. Superego ESE. Quasi-identical ILE. Conflictor SEI. Mirage LSI. Business EIE. Beneficiary SLE. Supervise EIEI.